one of the beauties of yoga is that it does give you definitive understandings. You know, there should be very little maybes in the study of yoga. If there's not an outright immediate answer, there is a process to the answer. See, a logical process that's been vetted by the saints. So, to become directly informed is the goal of yoga. Directly informed of the nature of divinity. We have a lot of ideas of who we are and what we are that seem very, very so. But is it really, really so, is the question. You know, are you truly just a corporeal being? Well, everybody else seems just to be physically substantial. But is that it? See, we have to ask ourselves really, really big questions. And then say, is it so? Just like, you know, we would call this a table. But when a physicist looks at it, is it just so? Is it simply just a table? He has a completely different perspective of it. Completely different. A biologist might look at it in another way. You know? So we look at ourselves as common human beings, common corporeal beings. Is it really, really so? Or is that just a perspective? See? If you want to see the broadest perspectives, read the saints of any tradition. And they'll give you an idea of the vastness of one's own being. See? But we get caught up in a very conventional way of seeing ourselves, and a very functional way of seeing ourselves, which is fine. But is that our true evolutionary arc? See? Is that where we're supposed to stay? Or is that where we happen to be at the moment? See? So you have to study yoga, you have to have a very, very big mind. Like a mind like the sky. That's what you need. See? To be able to a radical, open investigation of everything. Just put a question mark near everything. Everything, put a question mark near. And then do real research to see if it's really, really so. Or if it's relatively so. See? So we have a big topic today. We're talking about prayer, mantra, meditation, and good works. Any one of those is a weak seminar. And that's just a primer. But I decided to talk about that just to give a survey of the activities or the inner life of anybody that enters this world, that enters the life of yoga. And yoga, again, it comes from the Sanskrit word yug, which means to yoke or to bind. And what are they binding? The finite to the infinite. A poetic way of saying it is the stone to the sky. We're all like stones. But we're really, our nature is more like the sky. But what's obvious and what we concentrate on is the stone. But we don't concentrate on the infinite vista that is also within us. See? So we concentrate on sound, but we don't concentrate on silence. See? That's the problem. That's the problem. You know, in this manifested world, there's always a duality. But we're only using one aspect of ourselves and not emphasizing or balancing the other aspects of ourselves. See? So you want some kind of a fullness, see? Some kind of a broad perspective to be able to see the limited and the limitless within one situation. One situation. Now, you have infinite disciplines to be able to give you genuine personal insight. See? Remember I said genuine personal insight. It's not so important as to what I have to say. What's really, really important is what you really, really know. Not what you commonly know, but what you really, really know. See? So, in yoga study, personal insight, personal revelation is highly prized. This is not a subject of philosophy and theoretical speculation. This is a process of direct, personal, genuine insight. And I use the word genuine because sometimes we have sort of auto intoxication in our mind where we fantasize and we think that's a genuine experience. You know. So the human condition, it's not well examined. And what we have to realize, oh, there are many things, but a principal thing that we have to realize is that we're like psychic sponges. Through all of our senses, we're picking up information. Sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's unconscious, but it's all being stored within us. You know, physical sensations, primal impulses, emotional information, intellectual information, creative information, is all being, we're like a super sponge, drawing it all in. And it's unexamined. But we're storing it in ourselves, so it's having an effect. Everything that we sucked into us is having an effect. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, it's having an effect. But because it's unexamined, there's all these things affecting us, and we say, oh, this is the way I am, or this is the way I feel. Is it really? Mm. Or is it just the things that you've consumed? You know, if I consume something with a lot of chili, I have one experience. If I consume something that has a lot of butter or yogurt, I have another experience. But we're consuming both and everything in between unconsciously. And then we're saying, this is who I am. Well, really? Or is it what you just consumed? You know, physically, emotionally, psychically. Is that really who you are? That's the thing. You have to examine yourself. If we take an honest look at ourselves, we don't really know who we are. We do have some perception of what we experience, and then we associate with that experience, and we say, that's who I am. See? Big problem. Big problem. So, the yogic processes are developed to try to give us some authentic experience of what we really, really are. Some authentic experience of what we really, really are. One can say that we're a corrupted expression of God. Because there's an expression of God, there's absolute purity. No doubt. Absolute purity. The word may be corrupted because it's misperceived. And that misperception is expressed. See? But if someone gives you an honest, genuine hug, no matter where on the planet, isn't that a universal experience? Or an honest, genuine smile? Isn't that a universal experience? Regardless of the complexity of your psyche, if someone gives you an honest, guileless hug, full of love, no matter where you are or who you are, it's a common universal experience. You don't even have to speak the same language. Not at all. But your social, your economic, your political, your country, your race, those are all the things that are corrupting your vision. You see? But no matter who you were, someone gave you an honest hug, without even saying a word, you understood it. See, so there's something beautiful hidden there. Something universal is there. Then all of this human complexity there. See? But when you got that honest hug, all of that complexity was temporarily suspended. For a moment, it was, you just experienced it. Without, I am this race, I am this economic position, I live in this country, this is my political view, this is my society. All of that for a moment was suspended. It happened in a moment. And then you came back to your complexity. See? So, the yogic practices say that there is an infinite, universal, intelligent, loving nature, which is you. Which is you. But hidden, that is hidden by your own creation, your own personal creation. Because the root of your existence is absolute divinity, you're endowed with the right to create. You have the right to do your own thing. The problem is we do our own thing without a pure understanding of harmony. So we do our own thing and it rubs this one the wrong way. We do our own thing and it rubs that one the wrong way. Although we do have an infinite intelligent creativity where we could do our own thing and we're in complete harmony with this one, with this one, with this one, with this one. But because of our lack of vision, our lack of intelligent creative application, there's division, there's friction. So if you go to India and look at the saris, there's infinite creativity in those saris. You know, every kind of beautiful color, every kind of beautiful pattern. And you walk down the street and you see all of these lovely women with all of these beautiful saris. Is there any conflict there? No, there's no conflict. You just see this broad view of beautiful forms with lovely saris flowing. No, there's no conflict. There's no conflict at all. Each one is intelligent, each one is creative, each one is in harmony with the next. No conflict. It's just this sweep of beauty, you know, elegant beauty. See, so unconsciously, the energy of the soul was coming through in those patterns. See? We didn't think about it. We just said, let me do something beautiful. Let me do something beautiful. It wasn't, I am of this political faith or I am of this religious faith. No. They said, let me do something beautiful. That is the energy of the soul. It's creative, it's intelligent, it's not in conflict. And heaven shows that in nature. How many flowers are there? Infinite flowers. Large, small, all different forms, all different shapes. Is there any conflict? No, not at all. Just something beautiful. Something beautiful. Okay. So we have to see these things. So one, God did directly. The other God did indirectly through the soul. So we have to start to see these things and think about these things. Because we're thinking about an infinite amount of things, but we're not thinking about the things that are ultimately fundamental, that lead to our deepest nature. We think about a million things that may be creative, but not essential. See? Just like if you get plunged underwater, the air is essential. Same thing with the nature of the soul as opposed to the nature of the personality. Personality is not possible without soul. Not possible. Fire is not possible without air. See? You need that. You need these elements present. So sanity is not possible without sanctity. Sanity is not possible without sanctity. If we look at the world, can you see the headache that's going on? From brother to brother, sister to sister, nation to nation. You know, profoundly unfortunate. Profoundly unfortunate. Sanity is not possible without sanctity. The more one can say, okay, what is sanctity? And then to have some authentic experience of it. When those authentic experiences start to manifest, sanity, compassion, empathy explode. So each one of us has to have some kind of experience of authentic sanctity. We have all kinds of physical experiences. We have all kinds of emotional experiences. We all have some kind of mental experiences. But the supra experiences lie in the sacred, see? In our essential, fundamental nature. See? So we have prayer, we have mantra, we have meditation, we have good works. Why is it that you find those practices in every culture, regardless of race, regardless of nature, nation, regardless of locality? There's always been prayer. There's always been sacred utterance. There's always been some kind of form of meditation. Why is that? The very fact that humans are always seeking, we're seeking food, we're seeking emotional connection, we're seeking intellectual expression. That seeking is fundamental to the human condition. All forms. I don't care if you're seeking a McDonald's sandwich. You're still seeking. Whether it's crude or it's refined, all the root of seeking is finding the self. I don't care what kind of seeking you're doing. Whatever kind of seeking you're doing, one way or the other, crude or refined, you're looking for God. You're looking for sanctity. You're looking for some form of Sat Chit Ananda. One way or the other, that's what you're doing. It's just ununderstood. We're doing without knowing. We're going without understanding the destination. We're going. We're definitely going somewhere. We're not going to sit still. But we don't appreciate that there is a destination there. That we are actually seeking a destination. So we try 10,000 different kinds of pretty clothes and 10,000 types of tasty foods and then 10,000 types of different relationships. See? We're seeking, But it's and that's perfectly fine, perfectly natural, You're going to learn about your own destination through your own follies. So you'll have your follies, you'll have your calamities, and you'll have your successes. Successes, not ultimate success, but relative successes. Where you're starting to say, okay, I'm sort of getting it. I'm sort of on the right path. This is about finding yourself. In the beginning, we think of self with a small s. Later on, as you enter deeper into yoga, you start looking for self with the big S. See? But you're seeking. So we're this big cosmic sponge, and we've absorbed many lovely things and tons of rubbish unconsciously. Now, if we have this massive storehouse of just stuff stored away in our subconscious, now, if you were to have a Jesus or a Buddha or a Moses or a prophet, if you wanted to invite them in, don't you think you got to clean up the house a little bit? We've got stuff. We're like a cosmic dump. In that dump, there's junk. There's, diamonds also. There's all kinds of stuff. But it's unsorted. It's not cleaned up. It's in a form of chaos. And it's all within us. Now, within that sort of cosmic calamity is a seed of absolute purity that is in a finite condition, that's seeking that absolute purity in a cosmic condition. They have to come together. The soul and the greater reality. But that diamond of a soul is sitting in a rubbish pit. There's nothing matter with a rubbish pit. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is. You sucked up everything, and it's all sitting there. But if we want to invite that greater reality in, it's probably a good idea to get yourself sorted out. What's rubbish, put it in the bin. What's useful, put it here so it has some functionality. What is beautiful and glorious and should be offered to the nature of God should be put here. Get it sorted out. What's unnecessary, expel it. What's useful, maintain it. What's up for the glory of God, make sure it's pure, clean, and sanctified. See? So we are a vessel. See? And as a vessel, we'll have a number of natures as a vessel. One is to offer that vessel to the kingdom. But two is to receive the nature of the kingdom in the vessel. See? We offer it because as humans, we think, this is mine, I'll give it. But later on, we realize there's nothing to give. It was all God anyway, but we superimposed an idea on it. That's a revelation, to be able to get that. Our nature is to see things. Everything of the earth is like an element, whether it's an emotional element, an intellectual element, a physical element, all elements. So we have this tremendous habit of seeing elements, of seeing things. That's why in the beginning I said we're like stones, and that stone has to become the sky. See? In meditation, when you're sitting up, there's an infinite amount of elements that are passing through your mind. This is who I am, this is what I've experienced, all that stuff is just passing by. And the various sounds that we hear, these are all elements. Now, in meditation, we're trying to educate ourselves to break a habit of concentrating on elements. To concentrate now on the silence, on the spaciousness, on the infinite spaciousness. Now you're no longer concentrating on an element. You're abstracting the mind so that it now can sit and just be present with silence. It can be present with space. The space, that silence, is what held all the elements. See? We've spent our life concentrating on the elements. No problem. But it's out of balance. It's out of balance. it hasn't been informed by the nature of spacious silence. That spacious silence has its own nature and qualities, but we've never paid any attention to it. We've ignored it. So, an infinite amount of creativity has been completely ignored. Now, if you can actually find a way of persistently embracing that experience, don't you think it'll somehow inform how you experience the elements now? Now that you're a fuller package with a broader perspective, a broader base of experience, when you reflect back on all the elements of life, don't you think the perception will be changed? So there's the vision of the human, the common man, and then there's the vision of the saints. When Gautama Buddha looked out through his eyes, what did he see? When Master Jesus looked out through his eyes, what did he see? When Sri Bhagavan Krishna looked out through his eyes, what did he see? That's what we have to start to say. What did they see? It's their vision, their enlightened vision, that is the goal. So we have common visions. They have enlightened vision. So that's our goal. They knew who they were. They knew what they were. See? We only posit. Yes.
So what did they see? What do they see?
That's the adventure. Can words say that? Or, see, there's words and then there's experience. See? You know, if I pinch you, you'll say, ow. If I pinch somebody else, they might say, ooh. Did they both experience the same thing? Yeah. But did they express it differently? Yeah. So, the moment you try to take an experience and put it into words, there's differences in how it'll be expressed. So you have sacred experiences that great souls have had. It expressed itself in Judaism, it expressed itself in Islam, it expressed itself in Buddhism, it expressed itself in, different expression. Was the experience the same? Yeah. Was the expression different? Yes. See? So, not everything can be explained, but everything can be experienced. And the yogic science is to bring you to authentic, direct, personal experience. Authentic, direct, personal experience. So there's no conflict amongst the saints. So this might be a Jewish saint, this one is a Christian saint, this one's a Hindu saint. But when they look into each other's eyes, they understand perfectly. They understand perfectly what each other is doing. This one has this nation to take care of. This one has this group to take care of. This one has that group. This one has a different historical background, so they're going to take care of it differently. So they'll call it Judaism. This one will call it Hinduism. The other one will call it Christian. But they're all working from the same source. They're all drawing on that same sacred silence, but just applying it. They're physicians. This physician takes care of this region and this group of people, and this physician takes care of this region and this group of people. So to take care of them properly, a little bit different. You make little adjustments for them. See? But there is always an esoteric science slowly being delivered. Slowly being delivered. See? Of course, in general, moral teachings are given, so that the children aren't fussing with themselves so much. But as they get some kind of moral and civic basis, then the saint starts quietly whispering, look deeper within yourself. Look deeper within yourself. See? Then learn to pray. Then learn to practice mantra. Learn to practice meditation. Now, if you're doing any or all of those practices, there's no way you can do those practices without having good works. If someone tells me, oh, I've been meditating for 15 years, I've been praying for 20 years, and they're not actively doing some kind of good works in their life, Well, they haven't been praying for 20 years. And they haven't been meditating for 20 years. What they have been doing is exercising some kind of personal self-delusion. So their prayer has not been authentic prayer. And their meditation has not been authentic meditation. Because the products of those things are direct action in the world. You know, whether you're healing horses or healing a river or healing human beings or helping to heal a nation, it has to come out in some kind of creative and dynamic way. You will be a healer. Whether it's in politics, like a Gandhi, or it's in some other social movement, or it's in some simple element of a mother being profoundly kind to her children, giving them a platform, and good to the neighbors. It has to come out. See, it has to. That sanctity has to have some expression. See. So, in the craft or science or art of prayer, you're realizing that your realization of yourself is finite. But intuitively, you're realizing that there is an infinite creative intelligence. That's why we pray. We realize, okay, my perception of myself is small, but I know that there's something big and perfect. I know that I'm small and imperfect. That's my perception of myself. But I know there is a perfection. We don't know intellectually, but we know intuitively. We know intuitively that there is a wholeness. And because hidden in the nature of the human condition is to seek, we pray. See? This is done purely intuitively. Intuitively. Even if no one ever taught you to sit down and pray. You'd be walking through the forest and all of a sudden, you know, you want to have some kind of a communion, some kind of embrace. That's prayer. However you expressed it, that's prayer. See? To have some kind of communion, some kind of embrace with the ultimate. You don't know for a fact, but you feel it in your bones intuitively that there is a sacred ultimate. So you pray. You know. That's part of the human condition. The sacred, part of the sacred constitution of man is prayer. Anytime you ask for help, whether crude or highly refined, it's a form of prayer. You know, when you're asking for help, one way or the other, you're asking to be moved towards wholeness. One way or the other, you're trying to be moved towards wholeness. And you ask. It doesn't seem reasonable. But intuitively, we know there's something there. We may not have tasted it, we may not have seen it, we may not have even heard about it. But intuitively, in our bones, we know there's something there. See? You know, where did we come from? Something comes from something. Mm-hmm. We didn't come from nothing. We came from nothing. And we intuitively feel it. So, we all want that embrace. In that embrace is prayer. That whole consumptive embrace. So, like anything, if one starts to pray, and generally prayer will follow the three gunas, tamaguna, rajaguna, sattva-guna. Tamaguna is crude. Rajaguna is sort of passionate, mixed. Sattva-guna is purified, pure. So in the beginning, maybe we were praying for just personal, selfish stuff. But still we're seeking. We're still seeking that embrace. It's just a crude expression of it. Later on, okay, I'm praying for myself, but you know what? I want my neighbor to do well, okay. You know? So it's mixed, but you're moving along. And then later on, your prayer will be like a Dalai Lama prayer or a St. Francis prayer or some prayer of any saint, where they're praying purely for the welfare of each soul, that they become full, they become released, they become healed, they become beneficent. See? That each soul become a beneficent, compassionate, creative reality. See? That's a sattvic prayer. But you have to move through all these different types of prayers bit by bit. The more you exercise prayer, the more purified you become. Because even if it's a crude prayer, you're still poking at the reality. See? Eventually, if you poke at a buffalo, eventually it'll turn around. You know? In the beginning, we think God is a cosmic buffalo. But it'll respond. And as it responds, it trickles a little bit of its own amrita, its own nectar into you. And every time you poke at it, a little bit more nectar comes down. So you're being slowly purified by the practice of prayer. Why are all the saints praying? They're not doing it because they're wasting their time. These are enlightened beings, and they're praying. You know? You can look at the contemporary. Now, how much prayer did Mother Teresa do? Praying quite a bit. I don't think she was wasting her time. She had an insight that we need to garner. An insight that we need to embrace. So, prayer is necessary. It's a path home. It's a path home. We have to do it more and more and more. And then we should do it intelligently. You don't have to pray about everything in the beginning. Pray about what's important to you. Find something that's important to you. Add a little element of altruism, you know, and say the prayer. And do it daily. You know, prayer should become part of your psychic experience, part of your mentality. See? Then the world is not all about you. See? Burden the prayer to be more about the community. First, you'll think of the human community. Then later, you'll think about the natural community. See, your community should expand, 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 until you're praying about everything. May all things be at peace. May all things have harmony. May all things have fullness. See? May all things know the glory of God. See? May all things know it. Even the stone, don't leave the stone out. You know? It's just, the reason you didn't appreciate the stone wasn't the stone's fault, it was your psychic dullness. See? Where did that stone come from? You think it came out of nothing? Or did it come out of the same sacred source that you came out of? So why are you discriminating against the stone? In the beginning we think, oh, it's just a stone. Well, who made that stone? What's that stone's eventual, destination? You were once a stone. See, we have to learn to appreciate the sanctity of life itself. That fundamental to life is sanctity. And don't leave anything out. God didn't. And you have to be that big eventually. But first, because you have a personal nature, pray about things that are important to you. You pray about your family. May they have wholeness. May they be healed. May they experience the glory of God. No problem. Keep doing it. And then bit by bit, open up, open up, open up. Because in the beginning, I never prayed about the welfare of the river. It just never occurred to me. I just never thought about it. Nobody ever brought it up. But in your yogic study, you start to look at the elements of life not just as things, as dead, inorganic stuff. You realize it had an origin. It has a purpose. Maybe you don't understand the purpose, But some creative intelligence created that. You know, who created that flower? Who created that stone? Who created that river? Something divinely intelligent, infinitely creative, made that river, made that stone, made that tree. See? So, if you're praying and you're being thoughtful, your community starts to grow. See? Before, your community was your family, your friends, you know, then maybe later your nation. But over time, your community and your heart and your psyche get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden, you start respecting the other nations, and you start respecting the rivers, and you start respecting the sky, and you start respecting yourself. See? When you start respecting all those things, isn't there a whole lot more harmony?
Yes.
When they were just things, yeah, the idea of respect never came in because they were just stuff. You didn't think about respecting them, and you didn't go further to realize that something came from something, and that something, the origin of that something, was sanctity itself. See? So if I realize that my friend Ami comes out of the sacred, well, how bad can I start treating her when I really, really, really realize that she came out of the sacred, regardless of how she's expressing herself? The root is sacred. So, isn't there an immediate and natural pranam? Don't I bring my hands to my chest and bow? You know, that's why in India they say namaste. I bow to the sacred within you. Now there's a difference between words and realization. See? By doing this constant practice of prayer, you move from philosophy to realization. See? To deep, radical insight. It's no longer an idea. It's no longer a philosophy. It's like, wow, hey, God's present. If you have a sense of God's presence, your head can't stay high. See? Immediately, there's a humility. So we do this persistent practice of prayer. Then God has provided through His saints many, many, many sacred utterances. You know, because that reality is infinite, intelligent, creative in nature. It gives you infinite access points. So if you want to see God as Shiva, or you know, God is Buddha, God is Krishna, you know, God is Jehovah. From heaven's point of view, what difference does it make what gate you walk through? What difference does it make? So each of these gates, there'll be mantras. The word mantra, man, meaning man, meaning thinking being. Tra, that which takes you beyond. That which takes you beyond the thought. See? To the direct experience. That's what mantra does. The nature of mantra is it wants to make everything like itself. So you have this huge psychic substance of all this stuff that you picked up just by being human and just passing through the world. You've sponged up all these things. But if you sit there and say, Om Shidama Jedama Jedama, Om Shidama Jedama Jedama, Om Shidama Jedama Jedama, or any of the infinite mantras, you take on the nature of that mantra. That mantra is like a fire. And that fire reduces everything to an ash. It doesn't make a difference what you've got in your psyche. But it reduces to an ash. And because the process happened through mantra, that ash is a vibhuti. It's a sacred ash. See? It's an ash that reminds us of God and points us towards that reality. It's purified. It's purified in its nature. See? So mantra makes you like itself. Whether you're doing Devi mantra, meaning God is mother, or God is any other the forms. There's many, many. And then there's some mantras that don't even have a meaning per se, but they have an effect, a very definitive effect. All those mantras are bringing you toward different states of harmony, different states of purity. And with the moksha mantras, moksha means liberation, brings you, the mantra is a door to the kingdom, a process to the kingdom. See? Where all forms of confusion, all forms of corruption have been neutralized. So there's just a crystal pure, direct experience. See? So whether you understand mantra or not is really irrelevant. I don't understand the physics of fire, but if I stick my finger in it, it burns me one way or the other. I don't have to understand it. It's not necessary. It still has its own direct nature. Mantra is just like that. If you understand it, fine. If you don't understand it, it's okay. Because its nature is not going to change. Its dynamics are not going to change. If you create some kind of association with that mantra, the dynamics of that mantra still will manifest in its own full glory.
Why is it important to do prayer, mantra, and meditation? Why can't you just do one of them?
Well, ultimately you can. But, you know, it's like saying, well, I can have you sit in the frying pan for 6 hours, or I can have you sit in the frying pan for 6 minutes. Out of compassion, I only want the 6 minutes for you. You know? So, you know, human beings are very complex. Because we're like monkeys. Monkeys pick up anything. You know, it doesn't make a difference. They're always picking up stuff. You know? Humans are just like that. So, there's multiple means of liberation. Could I say that? Can you find liberation through prayer? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a little bit technical. Because profound use of prayer will lead you into a type of meditation. You'll go through various forms of revelation. See? The prayer will lead you to an inner revelatory realization. It's possible. Definitely possible. But, now this is just me speaking. I think that you should use every means in the arsenal of divinity to crack that ego. See? Is it possible with just mantras? Yeah. Just meditation? Yeah. Just prayer? Yeah. But seeing that the saints supplied sort of an arsenal to neutralize the ego, I'd use every gun in the belt.
Right, got it.
You know, if they gave me a missile, I'd use the missile. You know, if they gave me a stone, I'd toss the stone. You know, because the ego is formidable. It's formidable. It's creative. It's intelligent. It's really, really tough. See? So, I would go at it with every means possible. And the thing is that prayer makes meditation easier. Mantra makes meditation easier. Because it's neutralizing obstacles. If I just say, oh, just do meditation, can that be done in realization? Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it a whole lot tougher? Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to be able to acquire this dynamic skill. You've got infinite stuff in your psyche. You know, if you ask for help, heaven will give you the help. So why are you trying to swallow the sun without the help of the kingdom? You know, if the Lord is there and His various agents are there, why not seek their help? You know, get a hand up. They're there as a compassionate dispensation to help you. See, whether they're the guru in form, Dharma teachers in form, or prayer or mantra, they're all there as a grace from the kingdom to help the soul find its own liberation. See, so you want to use it. Mantra is there, use it. Prayer is there, use it. Meditation is there, use it. See? I think definitely use it. You know, could I just teach meditation? Sure. But will it be a lot more difficult for the average human being? Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Just to say, okay, I want to sit and I'm going to find my liberation. It's possible, but it's arrogant. It's arrogant. You know? It's the ego saying, I can do it without any help. You know, I can conquer all. Good luck. God bless you. Good luck. You know, you were born in community. So heaven has provided a community, a sanctified community, to assist you. You weren't born in isolation. Whom of us was born in isolation? See? We're born in community. See? So the sanctity itself, that creative sanctity, has provided a community for you. Whether it's its saints or its yogis and their methodology, to bring you to full wholeness. See? So, humbly we should accept the grace of God. See? Can you see the arrogance of man not to accept the grace of God? Oh, prayer, not necessary. Mm-hmm. Yes, Ram.
In Indian tradition, generally there is a guru that gives a mantra to practice.
Yeah.
But people who don't have real guru in their lives, what mantra they should practice? And
they will they will come to that in time, because right now you're thinking about life on the scale of man, roughly 100 years from birth to birth to birth. But if a person goes through life without a physical guru, no problem. That will happen. They sort of have to just be shaped and baked in this world, so their seeking becomes a little bit more refined, where they say that prayer. See? And in that prayer, there will be the response of the guru. God will manifest a guru for that soul. Now, prior to the manifestation of a physical guru, there's many other gurus that are there. One of your, well, in India, of course, they say your first guru is your mother, which is a true statement. Another guru, and these are genuine gurus, is your conscience. Your conscience is a guru that's placed in each soul. You might want to do this. You know right or wrong. You know whether it's right. You know whether it's wrong. Regardless of what you do, you know. That voice will say, this is not so. This is not so. This is not the way to go, regardless of your action. So, mother is a guru. Your conscience is a guru. Nature is a guru. You open your eyes and you see how things function in the world. See? Nature is a guru. So why do you have so much sanctified poetry about rivers and mountains and trees and sky? If you look at sacred poetry, it's all there. Nature is a guru. Scriptures are a guru. See? These are all gurus. See? Now, when you've had a little bit of time to mature, and it's more productive, then some human guru will show up. See? And then you could have more direct relations with the nature of the kingdom. See? But the gurus are always there. No soul is cast into this world without guidance. Not possible. Mother protected you. Told you don't play in the street. See? What was that? Conscience protected you. Say, this is so, this is not so. This is what to do. This is what not to do. See? The nature plays itself out right in front of you if you pay attention. You know? What to do, what not to do. The results of things. See? The scriptures, more direct. A sanctified being, or being just taking it from the reality itself without interpreting and putting it down for our benefit. Definitely a guru. Definitely a guru, if you pay attention. See? But then when you want the experience to be more intimate, more personalized, then the physical guru is there. See? It's intimate and it's personalized. See? Huge. Huge. You say, okay, Ram or Christopher, this is what you need to know. This is what you need to do. And I will stand with you. See? I'll eat with you. I'll talk with you. I'll walk with you. See? I'll Skype you. In the might and day now. You see? That's the intimacy with a Dharma teacher or a guru. What they're doing in that physical communion with you. They are trying to teach you the intimacy of God. The guru is just a proxy. They're just a proxy. They're standing in for the reality until you can fully grasp the reality or have more direct, intimate experience with the reality itself. See? But their job is to introduce you to the divine nature, the kingdom. To have you have a personal, direct, intimate communion with God. See? But they're there as a mentor to help you do that. Someone mentored them to be able to have that relationship. And they're there to mentor you to have that intimate, personal, direct relationship with God. When you have that experience, 10,000 people can say one thing. But if you've had that intimacy with God, you know for yourself. It's the equivalent of an elephant stepping on your foot. Is there any maybe whether the elephant stepped on your foot or not? There's no maybe. When you have intimacy with God, there should be no more maybe. There's no more speculation. Oh, was the nature of God here? Was divinity? Did I experience it enough? No way. No way. If there's any question mark or, maybe in your mind, there's still elements of self-delusion, lack of clarity, lack of insight. See? The nature of what you've come from, what we've all come from, is such a dynamic experience. It's like a branding. It's literally like a sacred branding. You'll never forget it, and you'll never be the same. And that is absolutely for sure. You will never forget it, and you will never be the same. And you will never forget God. You may live your life and do all kinds of things, but you'll never forget. You will never, ever, ever, ever forget. See? And that branding, from birth to birth, will bring you closer and closer and closer and closer, because it'll become an angst. You've had that touch, that taste. You'll always actively, vividly, courageously seek it out again until there's a full consumption. But it's bit by bit. See? Bit by bit in the beginning, and then more and more over time. And that's what, this prayer, this mantra, this meditation, it brings those experiences that you know for sure there is a God. You know for sure there is a kingdom. You know for sure you have a place within that. You're no longer in exile. You really are someone going home. That becomes direct, personal, you know you're going home. You're not just lost in this world. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am. I don't know what my value is. Forget all that stuff. That's gone. That's gone. You know that you're a sojourner. You're a traveler. And this is just one spot. This is not the destination. You know that for sure. It's just a bus stop that you stopped in. You know, an interesting cafe. You know. So, you know, why does the yogi do so many different tapasyas? They change their diet, they change their association, they change where they live, they change all these different things. What do you think that causes them to take that? They even give up women, you know. The greatest comfort for a man. You know? Why? What do you think would make someone give all that stuff up? For a New Yorker to give up pizza, you know. What do you think? Because there's something so beautiful, so grand, so personal, that the family, the wife, the food, the company, the arts become secondary, become moot. Because there's this one infinite creativity, infinite sanctity, that manifested the family and the wife and the arts, the wonderful complexity. It's in that seed, see? So once you realize it's there, and you've had a taste of it, you'll never stop seeking. You'll never stop seeking. You are definitely on your way home. You have now a sort of a vibrational compass that's going to just draw you there, a magnetic compass that's just going to, over birth after birth, you'll find your way home. Before that, you're stumbling in your own confusion. You're stumbling in your own delusion. You're stumbling in your own creation, your own psychic creation. So, this is a very interesting thing. With that, the guru has a very tough job. This is very difficult business. Because as humans, we've all become very comfortable, or at least knowledgeable, about the elements of what we consider life. So we're comfortable with how I feel, how I think, and my physicality. We're really, really comfortable with that. But we have to realize that your physicality and your emotions and your psychic facility all exist within the context of mind. All exist within the context of a sort of a self-created perceptional experience. We perceive our physicality. We perceive our heart. We perceive our creative intellect. It's all happening within the context of the mind. That mind is a type of cage that we live in. Our physicality, our emotionality, our mentality exists within a cage. This is the very same experience that you have if you have a bird that lives inside a cage for many, many years, and it's familiar with it, and the food is there, and the water is there, and it's used to this space. And then someone opens up the door and says, "Come out." Now, how willing is the bird to come out there? There where I don't know anything, as we're here where I know everything and I've sort of managed all these years? See, that's why this yoga experience is difficult. Because the guru is opening up the door to the cage and saying, "Come out here into this vastness." When you've been very comfortable in a contained space, the contained space of your psyche, of your mind, and all the experiences that happen within the context of your mind. See? Do you see why so many birds aren't flying out? They know what they have, and when they look out into that vastness, they say, like, "No way, Guruji. You know, I'm good here. I'm good here." So the guru is quietly standing at the door, telling jokes, saying, "Sit with me, let's eat together, now let's chant." See? Slowly trying to draw them to the door. Now the little bird doesn't even want to take a peek out there. He's good with what he's got. I've got my mother, I've got my family, I got my friends, I got a good job, you know, there's a wife coming, I'm good with it. And the Guru said, come, just stand next to me. Come stand next to me. See, when the Guru is saying, come stand next to me, he's saying, come stand with the kingdom. Now you know what you got. And you have no idea what this Guruji is. You don't know, all you know is philosophically. You don't know in your bones what he is, where he's going. You hear what he says. Now he's saying things as a fact, but you're hearing things as a philosophy. See? So there's a distance that we have to travel from philosophy to fact. See? And then slowly but surely he whispers, say this prayer, say this mantra, do this meditation, so that the shackles of your comfort, I'm comfortable with this body, I'm comfortable with this experience, those shackles can slowly loosen. And in loosening, you can come a little bit closer to the door. See? And eventually, when you become a yogi, then you'll say, okay, I'm comfortable with this world, but I'm okay with taking a peek. You know, take a peek out of the cage. So then, that's when all the mystical experiences are happening. When you realize this world is not just what you thought it was. That it's bigger, more dynamic than you ever imagined. See, that's the process of being a yogi. When you're sort of taking peeks at the reality. See? Over time, you get more comfortable standing next to the door. And as you do that, more and more sanctity. So that yogi becomes a saint. Because he's in the border region now. He's got a foot in each world. He says, I know there is a God, I know it's safe, I know it's sanctified, I know it's the whole. And also, he's comfortable with the limited reality. You know, how people conventionally view things. But then he stands at that door saying, wait a minute. My mother, my brother, my friends are all there. And I'm going here. I now know this is where my destination is. I want them to experience what I've had. I want them to have that same joy, that same ananda, that same mercy, that same embrace that I've been experiencing. So you don't jump out now. Now there's a different reason holding you. You stand at the gate in between these two regions singing, come on guys. There's something fantastic here, something beautiful here, something more beautiful than you can imagine. Come. I'm ready to go. But come. See? That's what happens. The yogi who becomes a saint doesn't take their immediate rapid leap. Because when he looks back, he sees the others. He knows his way has been cleared now. He can get out. But his compassion for all those he's lived with, he's loved, he's seen. He knows the sorrow, the thorns, the barbs that they're still enmeshed in. And out of compassion, he stays at the door. See, that's the saints. They're standing at the door. So, this is the human condition. This is the human condition. You know, we know what we got, but we don't know what we don't have. See? The yogis and the saints and the masters are trying to broaden our vision. To take the full love, the full compassion, the full glory, this full expansiveness of our nature. See? Who else is gonna give you that opportunity? Who else is gonna tutor you, mentor you to do that? It's only people who have made that journey. You know? They're like Sherpas taking you up the mountain. It's not safe to go on your own. You know? Too many places to slip and fall. You know? But the various mentors are there. And then what they simply say with the deepest and the most humble compassion and love based on their experience with the reality is, I'll stand with you. See? That's what they say. I'll stand with you. You see? And I'll walk with you. See? They're not going to carry you, but they'll stand with you. They'll face whatever you have to face. And they'll take this journey with you. See? And when it's said, it's not a birth. It's multiple births. They're making a... See, the yogi, the saint, the gurus, they make a commitment before God. There's no get out clause on those deals. You know, before God, they say, I'll stand with you. See? In humans, there's a wobble factor. There's no wobble when you make a statement before God. You know, it's marked down. That's it. That is it. See? So they'll stand with you till you take that step, and that step of release. See, that's an expression of the kingdom's infinite mercy, infinite courage, infinite tenacity. You know, for your wholeness, for your fullness, for your beneficence, for you to experience what you really, really, really are. Not for you just to experience your dream self. See? You know, what you have created, or what you've stumbled across. And I emphasize the word stumble. See? What you've perceived in your misperceiving mind. See? Your mind is not yet a perfect instrument. Who among us has perfect clarity? If it doesn't have perfect clarity, it's not a perfect instrument. So expect imperfections, which means there's going to be problems down the road. You know? If I see a person, I perceive them, oh, this is this personality, this is their history, this is their race. Well, come on, how clear am I seeing? Come on, think about it. It's a relative perspective looking at another relative perspective. No clarity there. A lot of judgment. You know, no clarity. You know, who didn't Buddha accept? Who didn't Bhagavan Krishna accept? See? Who didn't Jesus accept? See? There's a cosmic mind going on there. There was no other for them. There was no other for them. Just blessed brothers and sisters. See? Blessed kingdom. Blessed earth. Yes.
Why is it that sometimes you perceive that people that have had a paradigm shift in sharing their testimony, it's almost like they took a shortcut. But is that something they actually chose, or did they have the desire, or was it through the pain and suffering? They went from ego and within 24 hours to that place.
Yeah, now that's a perceptual misperception. It's like seeing a result, and it seemed to be immediate.
Yeah.
But there was a whole lot of process before that occurred. There was a whole lot more baking in the oven of the earth before that instant, that insight, that realization that they stepped over a line. But they've been walking towards that line.
Even in prior lifetimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For millenniums.
Oh, yeah.
They've been traveling along, until all the forces aligned. And then they could cut the cord. Okay. But it may seem as if it was an immediate event, but it's an event that actually took millennium.
Okay.
You know, there is no instant enlightenment. No way. No way. This is an evolutionary event. You've gone through an infinite evolution of every manner of form and every manner of struggle to bring you to a type of refinement where you finally break with it. Break with the delusion. Break with an illusion. You know? But it happens after a very long period of being in the kill. You know? being fired. Sometimes you go, oh, he got enlightened, as if it just happened. What just happens? No.
Nothing just happens.
Nothing just happens. Something comes from something. Something comes from something. Something comes from something. See? It's a journey of actions and a journey of insights. See? That brings them out enough fire to break the darkness. See? Eons of delusion, psychic darkness. But you build up a fire over time where it comes to a point where there's a flash point. Where everything else now has become ash. See? And then they say, what darkness does the sun know? See? You become like the sun. It knows no darkness. In the sanctified world, there is only Satchidananda, the infinite insight, the infinite love, see? The infinite beingness. See? We still see ourselves as limited, corporeal, mortal. We are mortal to an extent, but not really, really, really. See? This clay pot is mortal. You know? But can I burn or drown your consciousness? Can I put it in the hottest, kill and destroy it? Not possible. Not possible. See? So when this coil drops away, why do you think consciousness dropped away? It wasn't subject to this. So why should death make it subject? Consciousness is there. Consciousness is there. It just has to reformat a body. You know, it'll go from realm to realm to realm. The consciousness will be wrapped up in a subtle body. See? Just like we got this clay pot of a body. See? Eventually, in pure liberation, no need for body. It's completely, you know, optional. You know? So that immortal reality can come and go as it pleases. Manifest the body, not manifest the body. For them, for that reality, these are just dream bodies. For us, if it pinches, oh, it's pretty real to me. But for them, it's just a dream body. Dream body, not real. The consciousness itself is that. You know, see, it's that. See? So we just have to slowly take possession of the direction of our lives and use the saints as mentors. Prior to using the saints as mentors, you know, we've said, okay, the doctors are our mentors, and the teachers are our mentors, and the philosophers are our mentors, and the scientists are our mentors. No problem. All reasonable. But they're not absolute arbiters of reality. They're just searchers and seekers invested in their process. But they haven't come to solutions yet. What scientist has come to any absolute solution? Not possible. Or a philosopher, or psychologist, or teacher. The only ones that have come to absolute solutions are the masters. See? And beneath them, the saints. See? They've come to absolute solutions, absolute knowledge, absolute direct, personal, intimate experience. They know. They're not guessing. They're not hypothesizing. See? They're not speculating. They know. See? So that's the deal. Get next to them. Get next to the saints. Get next to the masters. It rubs off. You know, it rubs off. And you will get the opportunity to see and experience things that you wouldn't think is possible. So like the average human being, oh, did Jesus really, you know, feed a multitude of people from a few baskets? Well, from our perspective, not possible. If you were standing there, you saw the miracle. You know it for yourself because you saw it. See? That's why get next to the saints and the masters. Because they'll show you what's possible. Not with speculation, but what's absolutely possible. See? There's no binding on them of limitation. Nature no longer binds them. When I live with my master, you see for sure, nature was just a plaything. They're not bound by it at all. They can make nature do whatever they want. Knowledge of past, knowledge of present, knowledge of future.
Yeah.
It's at the tips of their tongue, you know. But they will live with you. They'll endure the hardships and the sorrows of the body just like you, so that you can acquire some empathy. They eat like me. They walk like me. They suffer like me. But then you see the sanctity there. And you go, whoa. Okay, they've done all these things that are common to me, but there's something beyond me in them. And that's what you're there for. Is that infinite seed that's there present. You know, they'll suffer just like you. They'll bear all forms of physical physical insult. Pardon me. You know, they'll be have bad words put towards them and bear it, just like us. But they're like the rose. If you crush the rose, it still offers you its fragrance. See, that's the saints. Yeah.
My son was born and raised in a Christian home. He travels to Italy and marries an Italian girl. And now he's being mentored and mastered by a Rinpoche. Next thing you know, he's chauffeuring the Dalai Lama around Italy. So he loves his dad, and my question is, he's concerned about me, being around the master, the mentors you're talking about. So do I, here's my son teaching me, do I seek out a master, or am I attracting a master to me?
The best thing to do is say deep prayers for guidance. Every prayer is heard. There's no such thing as an unheard prayer. What people get frustrated on is they're on a human clock, and the moment you pray, you're on God's clock. See? So the deal is, and this is the same thing with practices, it's not that practices are not real. Most people don't do the practices enough, and that's why they fail. They quit too soon. So, getting directly back to your question, simply say the prayers, persistently, earnestly. And then, in your own consciousness, always ask yourself, how can I bring more beauty into this world, more beauty into this life? So now you're engaged in something positive. How can I, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be big, small, anything. How can I generate, from your own personal creative perspective, more beauty in the world? Just like a flower offers beauty. Whether it's acknowledged, seen, or unseen, it still is creating that beauty. Same thing for us. That's how we have to live. Create some beauty. And then be patient. You will definitely, the moment you say an earnest prayer, in the kingdom it's like sending up a flare. You don't think it's noticed? See? But there'll be a time. There'll be a time. Just be absolutely persistent in your prayer. And it will come. Sometimes in the beginning it comes unseen, where heaven will create this opportunity and this opportunity and this opportunity. See? The guru is there, but it's unseen. And then when a proper maturation point where you're going to get maximum benefit, then some soul, physical embodied soul, will appear. And a guru is just another word for an opportunity. That's what they are. They're an opportunity to have some kind of personal witnessing or movement towards the kingdom. That's what they are. They're an opportunity, a sanctified opportunity. It's no longer guessing. It's you're on the road. Okay, any other thoughts, questions, curiosities? I've been thinking a lot about you. I thought about you for a whole week. I'm really happy to see you're here again.
Well, it's good to be here. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all these sanctified practices of prayer, mantra, meditation. Remember, meditation, you have to find more wholeness. You know, meditation breaks your arrogance of wanting to control things. You know, wanting to control things. In meditation, you're learning how to be. See, not how to create. You've been creating all of your life. I think this, I feel that, I do this. You've been exercising your creation all of your existence. But you haven't been exercising your nature to be. See? If you look at the sky, it just allows all these things to be within it. It doesn't tell the tree what to do. It doesn't tell the car what to do. It doesn't tell the human what to do. It doesn't tell the creatures of the earth what to do. It just allows it to be. See? It allows it to happen within its consciousness, within its space. That is what you're learning in meditation. You're learning how to allow things to be. Everything you see, you judge. Everything you feel, you judge. Everything you experience, you judge. Consciously or unconsciously, every experience you have, you judge. I like this, I don't like this, I'm neutral to this. You're making judgments on everything. On everything. Now, what is it like not to judge? See, not to judge. You have to, in your meditation, you're allowing things to be. And you're allowing yourself to become vested and settled in a profound, non-judgmental condition. Now that you're no longer all wrapped up in what you think, your creations, your judgments, now you can start to experience the nature that exists within a non-judgmental condition. See? That's what's called Christ mind, Buddha mind, Krishna mind. See? They weren't judging anybody. They weren't judging anybody. See? So, in that, why is meditation take so long? Is because we have, however many years you've been existing and how many births you've been having, you've been practicing your own creation with your own judgment on every element of existence. Now the yogi is saying, just be and experience the nature of beingness. You know the nature of judging because that's what you've been swimming in all your life. What is first acquiring the skill of just being, and then what is the nature of just being? See? What is the nature? There's a nature in it. It's not just a dead stone. See? So, but it takes persistent practice. And don't think, oh, I'm just going to practice this life and that's it. I'll get it. Come on. You've been building a dunghill for centuries. Don't you think it's going to take a little bit of time to shovel that barn out, clean it up, bring it back down to an ash? You know, to acquire the other half of your nature? You've been practicing this part of your experience. What about that other part of your experience? See? It's going to take time. So just get at it. See? Just learn to sit. Learn to hold the peace. Learn to allow all the elements that your psyche experiences, allow it to be without meddling. This is where pure meditation is. Allowing all the elements of your physicality, of your emotionality, of your psychic facility, allow it to be. Just like the sky allows all this to be. And then you'll have a revelation of that element of your nature. See? That element that doesn't judge anything. That element that absorbs everything. That element that holds everything. That element that allows everything to be. See? Allows everything to be. See? Then you'll be more informed. See? Not just a portion of your expression, the whole of your expression. So if you look at the elements of life, and then you look at the reality of spaciousness itself, which is grander, and which is, one is limited, one is unlimited. See? You've been concentrating on this little pea. in the ocean of spaciousness, the ocean of sacred spaciousness. See? It's like when someone pinches you, all you think about is where you've been pinched, and you forgot the rest of your body. But in that moment, all you thought about was the pinch. This is the human problem. Your whole creative body is present, but you've only been concentrating on the pinch. See?
Haricharan, I have I guess I was raised with an aversion to prayer because it seems sometimes to be rather self-centered or lower ego. And what you just said about meditation is this idea of kind of acceptance, and like in the Gita, you take whatever happens equal-mindedly. So to me, that's a little bit of a conflict with praying, especially for something that might benefit myself, health or finances or whatever.
Yeah.
I understand you want to bring in the altruistic side of it when you can, but can you give us a little guidance there? I mean, I'm very uncomfortable with prayer.
Prayer is actually necessary, and prayer is actually natural. Like, if I was to take my hand and put it over your mouth and nose, instinctively, there's a prayer for oxygen.
Okay.
It's in your bones. There's a prayer to persist. See? There's a prayer to persist. No problem. So we have to understand that prayer is not an option. It's natural to the human condition. As long as the human condition is not absolutely free, completely liberated, prayer is inherent to life. All seeking is a type of prayer. You're seeking some kind of wholeness, some kind of completion. See? So it might be the way the word or the concept of prayer has been delivered to you that is the problem. Prayer itself is not the problem, but your perception of the nature of prayer is the problem. See? So all it means is you have to redefine your understanding of prayer. See? Prayer is a movement towards wholeness. Even if you say a prayer for yourself, in that wholeness, because now you've experienced some more wholeness, now you have the opportunity to share wholeness. But if you're a broken vessel, what vessel can you heal? If you can't fix this vessel, what vessel there can you help? See? You have to have some kind of experience of wholeness before you can share it. Because we share with what we have. And if your psyche is broken, well, you're sharing broken psyche. You share with what you have. See? So I am really hoping and praying for your wholeness. Because I know as you experience that, that's what you'll share. Like I said, we're all born in community. We can't get out of it. But we share with what we have. So if what we have is misunderstanding or is toxic or diluted, well, that's what we share. But if we have some experience of wholeness, well, that's what we share. We share with what we got. So all forms of seeking is a type of prayer. But all forms of seeking is a seeking for wholeness. Even when we fill our bellies, I seek some food. What are we doing? We're seeking some kind of wholeness, some kind of satisfaction, because we're broken due to hunger. See? Or you seek a relationship. What are you seeking there? It's not this person or that person. You're seeking wholeness. That's really what you're seeking. Because you didn't find you didn't develop the skill to find it here, so you're looking for it there. We're always looking outside as opposed to inside. So why does the yogi say sit still? Because ultimately it all should be found here. And we're, as human beings, looking for it there. See? You see all these yogis sitting in caves. Why? Because they want to find it here. They want to find the source of communion. See? The source of communion. So we're looking for it in food. We're looking for it in sex. We're looking for it in, social groups. We're looking for it in the Ferrari. We're looking for that wholeness in all those other places and not looking for it here. And the saints and yogis say, be still and know God. See? Find it here. Find it here. Yes? Sylvia?
So, yeah, I think, what Garrett was referring to for myself too, I sometimes feel guilty maybe about praying, using prayer as a method if I'm, seeking something selfish, for example. So basically...
Yeah, this is important to understand. Really, prayer is a type of conversation with God.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to say, this is what I want. It may not be the purest thing, but at least you're in dialogue.
Okay.
It's okay. It's a sanctified conversation. And you'll be mentored, you'll be purified, and you'll be brought along over time. You're not perfect now. We're not perfect now. But we're in process. So it's good that you're self-conscious enough to realize, well, this is not really an altruistic prayer. I want to get through my exams.
Yeah.
God, give me a break. Give me some help.
Right.
It's okay. Because at least you've turned to the right source. You weren't asking your mother, your brother, your sister, your friend, who were all good, but far lesser sources. See? So, in any form of communion, there's a purification going on. If you're just talking to your mother, brother, sister, friend, this just, this one's creation is swapping with that one's creation, full of their own personal delusions. But at least if you look north and you say a prayer, there's a trickle of sanctity that's coming in. So you're establishing the relationship. So it'll move from Tamaguna to Rajaguna to Sattvaguna in time. Because just by establishing the relationship, you will become like what you associate with. This is law of association. So now it may be a stone, later a diamond. See? Law of association. So it's better to, like I don't spend a lot of time with a lot of people. I don't. It's just not my interest, not my nature. If I want to have a conversation, let's say, why does Hari have all these books? Because if I want to have a conversation, I want to have a conversation with someone who has been profoundly thoughtful. So the house is full of scriptures. I'm not interested in conversations with regular people, unless I have some work to do. But I do want to have a conversation with people who have really looked deeply into the nature of existence, nature of sanctity. And then the conversation will happen simply through their literature. Other times you meet many, many saints. They're there. But in the context of living here, I can have a dialogue with them through their literature. See? Again, association. See? You become like what you associate with. Christopher?
I have a question about free will.
Yes, sir.
If on the one, I'm trying to sort of reconcile these two dynamics. On the one side, if we've been given free will, the divine, to do whatever we please.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there's all of this sort of this army of saints and the divine trying to get us to move down a particular path.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how those, because it's as if you've taken this bird and you've put it into a cage. 20 years, feed it, get it, everything it needs, and now you expect it to come back out into the larger world.
Yeah, that's a good question. I like these questions. It allows me to have fun. All these yogis, saints, and masters, they're like a divine catalyst. See? They sort of speed up. They're an evolutionary catalyst. See? So they're an energy. Now, you can look at it this way. You have an island here and an island here. You have island A, island B. And you have to transit this point from A to B. Now, you can go directly, you can go curlicue, or you can go zigzag. All of that is your own creative expression of how you get from A to B. But there is a current, an evolutionary current, that's drawing you from A to B. So one way or the other, you're going to be drawn along an evolutionary arc. But how you get there is your own creative process. Sometimes destructive, sometimes productive, sometimes neutral. It's your own creative process. The gurus, saints, Dharma teachers, they're like an evolutionary energy pressing you along, pressing you along. You may be zigzagging, you may be curling, you may be up and down, you may have your own creative way of getting there, but they're like a creative grace, like a wind in your sails. Gently, they're not pushing you, they're gently pressing you evolutionarily along. They're a catalyst, an evolutionary catalyst. See? You're going to get to B, absolutely. But your experience of from getting A to B will be a lot of your own personal creation. See? But you will arrive. You know, that is ordained by the kingdom. That's already settled. But how you get there and the nature of your experience in getting there, you'll have a lot to say in that. See? So the teachers are there as a grace, a catalyst. Sometimes, like, it's not easy being near teachers. Sometimes you'll love them, sometimes you'll hate them. You know, this is just true. Sometimes you'll be completely frustrated with them because they're pressing you to do things that are uncomfortable. They're pressing you to expand what is comfortable. See? To go places that you would not normally have gone psychically. See? To do things that you would not normally want to do. See? They're not interested in your comfort. They're interested in your evolution. See? And there's a huge difference. Huge difference. The skills that you have to acquire to come to a liberation are not easy and often not pleasant. See? To acquire the skill of patience, to acquire the skill of compassion, to acquire the skill of self-sacrifice. Not particularly easy, but evolutionarily necessary. See? So they're pressing you to do things that you know, most of the time, if we can build a fort and have our family and have food, we're good to go. You know? But the saint is breaking down the walls and saying, don't live in the confines of anything. I want you in an infinite existence, not in a limited existence. Our nature is to say, I want limitation because I can control that. And the Guru is saying, well, I understand that point of view, but you're more. You have to take the full breath, not a quarter breath, not a part breath, not a maybe breath, a full breath of your existence. See? They want full maturity, you know, full evolution, you know, not full limitation, which is what we hold on to. We hold on to full limitation. See? So they're going to ask you to do things that are not pleasant or comfortable, or even that was even on your radar, on your radar, both externally and internally. You know, there'll be meditation practice and all forms of practice where you think, why am I doing this? This is boring. This is dull. Nothing's happening. You know, and they'll just keep going, keep going, keep going. You know, it's like digging a well. You dig 3 feet. You say, well, hey, there's no water there. You know. And the Guru says, please dig some more, dig some more, dig some more. Hey, Guruji, it's 9 feet, enough already. You know, dig some more, dig some more, dig some more. 15 feet, God, this Guru must be crazy. I hate this guy. I'm dirty, I'm hungry, I'm abused. He has me down in this pit, 15 feet down, and he's still telling me to dig. I hate this guy. Come on, please, gently, dig some more. Come, my friend, please. I'll come down and stand with you. Dig some more. You're digging and you're hating the guy. Right? He's telling me to dig. You know. And then the Guru goes away. He says, you left me in this hole. You feel abandoned. Then you feel, oh, I got nothing else to do, so I might as well dig some more. Eventually you hit the water. And then you start feeling regret. Oh, God, I had all of these wicked thoughts. You know? But now the entire village is fed because there's a well there. See? So you have to go through all your, he's making you dig, and you're going through all your stuff. You know, all your pride. Hey, I was a rich man before I met this Guruji. You know, I had everything. Now he has me in rags in this pit. I had women, I had property, I had position, and he has me just with a shovel in this pit. You know, every kind of thought goes through your head. You know, sometimes you think this guy is a madman, or this guy is abusing me. You know, this guy is taking my wealth. See? Right up until you hit the water. And then you're, oh, Guruji. Oh, thank you, Guruji. See? That is how it is. You know, being near a guru is like being near a very hot pot. You know, not always comfortable, but necessary. It's the kill that helps to purify the mind, purify the heart, purify the body, so that it's used as an agent of the kingdom. Prior to that, you're your own agent, doing your own thing. You're not in harmony, in sympathy with the kingdom. You're just a creation, creating. See? But unenlightened. You're just doing your own thing. Heaven is infinite, so no problem. It'll let you do that. But it's not necessarily useful. It's not necessarily part of the reality. It's part of your own dream. Uninformed dream. See? Uninformed dream. And he wants you to see the reality, not your dream. See? So this is a very long, tough journey. You know? And it's a relationship. When you're with the teacher, it's a relationship. You know, the foundation of the relationship is a friendship. See? That's why in the Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was Krishna's friend. And it's in that friendship that all of a sudden Arjuna starts to become aware of the sanctity of his friend. In the beginning, he's just his friend, a good relative, some wisdom, you know, another ruler of another principality. You know, so he had all kinds of respect for him and all kinds of familiar love, but not seeing the sanctity. See? And it's only over time that he realizes that there's something very, very, very special about Sri Krishna. See? But it didn't happen immediately. It was over time. See? But Krishna had to sit with him, walk with him, eat with him. See? And then slowly the veils of our own delusion drop away, and we realize there's some unknowable sanctity here. See? This is how it is, bit by bit, bit by bit. And over time, through the nature of the Guru, you don't hear about compassion, you experience compassion. You don't hear about patience, you experience patience. See? See, the experiences have to be direct and personal. Otherwise it's just theory, it's just stuff. See? And then all the glorious miracles and all these kinds of wonderful things that happen, you can't just hear about it. You have to experience it. It has to be personal. Once it's personal, no one, 10,000 people can say one thing. You say, sorry, I was there. I'm sorry. You know, I was there. You know? So this is the deal. You know, this is how you learn, and it's an evolutionary arc. You know, you meet some yogi guy, just looks like some guy. You know, but half the saints, most of the saints are completely unrecognized. It could be some grandma sitting on in the corner there, quietly doing her prayers or japa or something, or quietly attending to her children's children. You know, and you don't realize that lady is a saint. You don't realize it. You just see her in your own conventional eyes. See? You don't have proper vision yet. It's only as you start to find your sanctity, and start to do some prayer, some study, some meditation, that enough of the rubble gets cleared from your eyes, but you start saying, you know, that person, there's something different about them. I don't get what they are, but there's something different there. And then you start to make some kind of inquiry, some kind of investigation, some kind of dialogue. You know. And then you wait, holy mackerel, I can't imagine what they're doing. You start to see all the hidden things that they're doing once you're in close proximity, close association. Before that, you saw nothing, just some grandmother over there. But when you actually create a relationship and you're present, then you start to see all the sanctified actions that are going on that you prior were completely unaware of. See? That's really how it is. That's really, really how it is. Yeah. So that is so God creates a situation where those associations can happen, you know, where there's intimacy and then there's a clarified vision can occur, you know, in your own personal life. And you receive the instructions to make your own personal sanctified journey, you know, to come to true clarity, true, direct, genuine experience. So again, prayer, mantra, meditation. And then the acts, the result of all those things is a life of good works. You know, a life of good works. One way or the other. One way or the other. You become like water. It has its own indigenous nature. And its nature is always purifying. It's always lifting. See? It's just like that. Any other thoughts, ideas? What time is it? Is it late now?
12:15.
12:15, okay. Any kind of final thoughts, ideas? No? Alrighty. Then what we'll do again is we'll sit for like 5 minutes of meditate. And I really deeply appreciate everyone for being here and all the good questions. You know, I like to be, when you ask me questions, it makes me have to think. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it, you know, because for a moment, in an instant, you can't see it, but in an instant I reflect on my master, in an instant I reflect on the scriptures, you know, in an instant I hold the kingdom, and then you know, it's like having a beautiful bath. You make me concentrate in that bath. So it's delightful fun. Okay, so the spine is erect. And then you'll take a deep breath in. And you'll hold the spacious silence. Nima, could you watch the clock for 5 minutes and then just let me know? can gently open your eyes and we'll chant Om 3 times, that divine creative intelligence. And open your eyes. When you're chanting that Om, you're not white, you're not black, you're not Asian, you're not Western. You're just one creative, infinite, intelligent presence. All the stuff that you thought you were is temporarily suspended. And you're in that creative experience. That Om is no joke. That Om is the seed of pure creative manifestation. Before it's been broken up into infinite objects and bits and pieces. Okay? That's why all the yogis chant Om. Because that Om is the seed, the first presence of sanctified manifestation. See? Prior to that, the infinite silence. See? So it's going back to your primordial self, and then the silence after is the leap into the infinite self. See? Primordial self to infinite self. See? That's what you're doing. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. You don't realize it, but it's a big deal. Om will take you home.